Hello, and thank you for joining me on how to crochet a stress ball. This is a very beginner friendly tutorial, and if you have the kit from my Etsy, you'll have everything that you need to do this video from beginning to end. So our goal here is to make this little study buddy that I have here in my hands. You can choose whatever color you like, and if you don't have the kit, I'm going to go over the materials that you'll need for this video, and I'll also have the materials listed in the bio below. So let's begin. Okay, first you'll need a crochet hook. I like to use a 5.5 millimeter from Susan Bates. You will also need some yarn. I use Bernat blanket yarn. This color here is smoky blue. You'll also need a needle to weave in the end of your project. Some scissors. Scissors are not included in the kit. Some safety eyes. These are not a requirement. I like to use size 9 or 10 for the safety eyes. The back of the safety eyes to lock the safety eyes in place if you're using them. And if you have the kit, you will have these two felt pieces. I'll explain that later in the video. And you will also need some stuffing. You can use polyfiber from Michaels or Walmart, or you can use weighted beads. It's anything that you'll basically like to just use for stuffing. Yeah, and that's all that you'll need. Okay, so to begin this project, you're going to grab the very end of your yarn. And if you're following my pattern, you're going to be on step 1, magic circle. So to make a magic circle, I like to use the last 3 of my fingers, my middle, ring, and pinky. And I wrap the tail end of my yarn around my fingers twice. And then I use my pinky and my ring finger to hold the tail. So just grab the end of your yarn, doesn't need to be too tight. Wrap around the last 3 of your fingers twice, and then you can use your ring finger and your pinky to hold the tail. Alright, so it should look like this. And then you're going to grab your crochet hook and place it under the 2 strings here on your fingers. You're going to yarn over, so you're going to use your crochet hook to grab the yarn and pull that yarn under the 2 strings on your fingers. Okay, so it should look like this. And then that means you're going to have like a little loop here, and then you're going to yarn over again to grab your crochet hook to grab that yarn, and you're going to pull that loop that you just made and just tighten slightly. Okay, now you can release it, and you have the start of a magic circle. So we're still on step 1, and it says make 6 double crochets in the magic circle. So to make a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, you're going to insert your crochet hook in the magic circle, yarn over again, pull through the magic circle. So now you have 3 loops on your crochet hook. 1, 2, 3. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2 of the loops on your magic circle. So now you just have 2. 1, 2. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through the last 2. Tighten a little bit, and there you go. You just did a double crochet. Let's do that again. So we're going to yarn over, insert the crochet hook in the magic circle, yarn over again, pull through. So now you have 3. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through 2 of the loops on your crochet hook. So now you just have 2 loops on your crochet hook. 1, 2. And you're going to yarn over again and pull through the last 2. Tighten slightly, not too much. Now you just did 2 double crochets. We need to do that 3 more times. So yarn over, yarn over again, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Okay. Alright, and when you're done with that, meet me back here. Okay, when you are done with the 6 double crochets in your magic circle, we now need to close the magic circle. So I suggest grabbing the tail and just pulling slightly. Just wiggle it around and pull it until you see a string going. You see how I pull it slightly and that string right here goes in, it gets shortens. I would grab that. I'd probably pull it so it's a little bit bigger so it's easier to work with. And I'm going to pull the opposite end that pulls the tail. So I'm going to pull this end, and now this little loop here should go in and disappear. Yep. You don't have to make it too tight. And then I'm going to grab the tail so that the other string can shorten and disappear into the magic circle. And there you go. Now we're going to go on to step 2, which is a slip stitch and chain 1. So to slip stitch, move the tail in over here. So to do a slip stitch, you're going to place your crochet hook in the stitch right here, the opposite side. Do that again. So you see how there's a stitch here? Just place your crochet hook under that stitch, yarn over, pull through, and you're going to pull through again. And there you go. So now you just did a slip stitch, and a chain 1, you're going to have to yarn over and pull through that loop. And there you go. Slip stitch and chain 1. Step 2 is done. Now for step 3 is 2 double crochet in each stitch for a total of 12 stitches. So in order to do that, we're going to do a double crochet again. So we're going to yarn over, place the hook in that first stitch. So see here, I'm going to try to show you again. So we're going to start in that first stitch. I'm going to yarn over, place in the first stitch, yarn over again, pull through that stitch, so you have 3 loops again, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through 2 of the loops on your crochet hook, tighten slightly, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2. And there you go. So now we're going to move on to the next stitch here, because a chain counts as 1, and that double crochet you just did is the second one in that one stitch. So now we're going to go into the next stitch over. See how there's 2 strings here? That's 1 stitch. So we're going to place our hook into that stitch. We are going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, tighten slightly, yarn over, and pull through, and tighten slightly. Now to do 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, we have to yarn over and go in that same stitch that we were just working in. So go in that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, tighten slightly, yarn over, and pull through 2. There you go. I'm going to show you a few more times. So yarn over. Now we're going to go into the next stitch because we just did 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go into that next stitch here. So yarn over, go into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, tighten slightly, yarn over, pull through 2, tighten slightly. Don't try to tighten each stitch too much because you're going to have to work into these stitches in the future. So yarn over, and we're going to go into that same stitch because we need 2 in each stitch for a total of 12. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. There you go. Alright, so do that for a total of 12 times, and after you're done with that, meet me back here and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so you should just have finished step 3 and did 2 double crochets in each stitch, so your project should be looking something like this. Now we're on to step 4, which is slip stitch and chain 1. So just like how we did before, we're going to place our hook under the stitch here, and we're going to yarn over and pull through, and then pull through the loop that was just on our crochet hook. Tighten slightly, and then chain 1. So if you're wondering why it's starting to curve up a little bit, it's because with my stress balls, I like the bottoms to be like this, so wherever I place it, it just stays. I don't like it when my stress balls roll away, kind of stresses me out. So I know it's a weird particular thing, but it's the way I like it. So just to explain what's happening. So now we're going to be going on to step 5, which is 2 double crochets in each stitch for a total of 24 stitches. So you're going to be doing the same thing that you just did. We're now increasing around. So you're just going to continue doing the same thing you did and do 2 double crochet in each stitch. So that's why I say this pattern is pretty beginner friendly, because you're going to be focusing on the same few stitches over and over again. So we're going to yarn over, place the hook under that first stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 of the loops on your crochet hook, yarn over again, and pull through 2 again. Now you're going to go into the next stitch. So yarn over, go into that next stitch, yarn over again, pull through. So now you have 3 loops here. Yarn over, pull through 2, tighten slightly, yarn over, and pull through 2. And then you are going to, I'm going to grab a little bit more yarn. Okay. All right. So you got to go back in that same stitch to increase. So yarn over, go back in that same stitch, yarn over again, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2 again, and tighten. So when you've done all 24 stitches, meet me back here, and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, if you just finished step 5, which is 2 double crochets in each stitch for a total of 24 stitches, we'll now be moving on to step 6, which is slip stitch and chain 1. So here we are going to insert the hook in that stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through again, tighten slightly, and then yarn over and pull through that loop. And there you go, chain 1. Okay, so now we're going to be moving on to step 7, which is 1 double crochet in each stitch for a total of 24 stitches. So here we are going to yarn over, insert the hook to that first stitch, yarn over again, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2 again. And we're not increasing anymore, so we're going to be moving on to the next stitch. So place a 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over again, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, tighten a little bit, yarn over and pull through 2 again. And we are going to be doing that all the way around here. So just keep doing that for a total of 24 stitches. And after you're done with that, we're going to be moving on to step 8, which is going to be another slip stitch and chain 1. So meet me back here after you're done going all the way around. Okay. Okay, if you just did step 7, that was 1 double crochet around in each stitch for a total of 24 stitches. So your project should be starting to look like this, like a weird little cone. So if you are following the pattern, the helpful advice is basically you can turn your project inside out like this now, and then kind of just poke the middle of the bottom of the project so that it sits like this. Also, if your tail is really long like mine, it doesn't need to be there like that. You can just cut it. There you go. And get that out of the way. So the helpful advice is, if you're working the project like this, just a 24 round, and it looks like a weird little cone, you can turn your project inside out and then just poke the middle of the bottom like that. Okay, so now we can go on to step 8, which is a slip stitch and chain 1. So we're going to place our hook here, and the next stitch over, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through here, the loop on your crochet hook, and then yarn over and pull through the loop on your crochet hook again for a chain 1. Alright, and that was step 8. So moving on to step 9. Step 9 advises you in the pattern to do steps 7 and 8 for the next 5 rows. So what that means is you're going to be doing 1 double crochet all the way around, and then doing a slip stitch and chain 1 to end that row, and you're going to do that for a total of 5 times. So right now we are working on the body of the stress ball. So we're working up here so that we can have a nice little stress ball. Just poked it in, so that's the bottom. So it just sits like that. And now we're working on the body. The 5 rows is you working up. So we just did a chain 1, so we're going to yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, tighten slightly, yarn over and pull through 2, and go into the next stitch and continue to do that. And just remember, when you get to the end of the row, remember to slip stitch and chain 1, and then do the 24 crochets, the 24 double crochets into each stitch again. So just continue to do steps 7 and 8 for the next 5 rows, and when you're done with that, you can meet me back here. Alright. Okay, if you just finished step 9, which is do steps 7 and 8 for the next 5 rows, your stress ball should be starting to look like this. Should now have the body going, looking like a little bit of a mug or bowl, like a tall bowl. So I just have a few stitches left to do here. Okay, and now we're going to be moving on to step 10, which is another slip stitch and chain 1. So let's do our slip stitch through here, tie in a little bit, and our chain 1. There we go. So here I'd like to make the loop a little bit longer because we're going to be working with the safety eyes and everything now. So you can just do that. So make sure that the stitch doesn't come undone while you're working with your project. If you don't want to add any safety eyes, then you can just go ahead and add your stuffing and move on to the next step, which would be step 12. So, but right now I'm just going to be adding some safety eyes and some stuffing. Okay, so now we're on step 11. So we're going to be adding our safety eyes. And if you have the kit, you'll also have 2 little felt pieces. This is the time that you'll be using these. If you want to add them, you don't have to. It's not a requirement. I'll explain why in just a second. So here is where I add the safety eyes. I basically like to put them 5 stitches apart. And I like to just put them basically in the 4th row, which is the 2nd row from the top. I like to do them the exact opposite of where I do the slip stitch and chain 1. You can probably kind of see where you do that. So I do the exact opposite. And so I'm going to place one right here. Just poke that safety eye through. And then these are the stitches. See how these are like a little bit of a diamond pieces? Like they're a little bit like diamonds to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's where I would add my second safety eye. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add my safety eye right here. And there you go. So if you want to add more details with some more yarn or string and make like eyelashes or a smiley face or a nose, this is the time that you should probably do it, so you can have, it'll be a lot easier to add those pieces in, because after this we're going to be decreasing, so it'll be harder to get your hands in there. So if you have the kit, these pieces should already be pre-cut. I like to add these felt pieces to my project, so when you're having a really stressful day or if you're just squeezing your little buddy here, you don't want the safety eyes to pop out when you squeeze really intensely or something. So I add the felt pieces as an extra precaution. So to the back, see a little piece here? Just add that little felt piece. See that? And then you'd grab the back of the safety eye. You see how this piece is going to go out like that. So grab this piece here and you're going to lock that safety eye in place. You should probably hear a little bit of a popping sound. Sometimes you don't. And that's how it should look on the inside. And then with the second safety eye, you're going to do the same thing. So here you go. You could just also add way bigger safety eyes, and that would make sure that it's not going to fall out in the future. There you go. And there you go. All right. So now your safety eyes are safely locked into place. Now you're going to add a little bit of stuffing here, or a lot, whatever you would like to add for your stress ball, or if you're using weighted beads, this is the time you should probably add them. It's going to add a little bit more. There you go. All right, and now we're going to be moving on to step 12, which is going to be 1 double crochet in each stitch again. Okay, and now moving on to step 12, which is 1 double crochet in the first stitch, and then you're going to decrease all the way around. We're now going to be closing up the stress ball. We're going to be closing up the head of the stress ball here. So we're going to do 1 double crochet in the first stitch. So yarn over, go into that first stitch there, yarn over and pull through. So you have 3 loops again, yarn over, pull through 2, tighten slightly, yarn over, pull through the last 2. All right, and now for the decrease stitch. So we are going to place our crochet hook into the next stitch over, a new stitch, yarn over, pull through. So you have 2 loops on your crochet hook now. Now we're going to place our crochet hook into the next stitch over. So we're going to place our crochet hook here, yarn over, pull through. So now we have 3 loops on our crochet hook. Now we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, tighten slightly, and yarn over and pull through 2. And that is a decrease stitch. So we're going to show you that again. Place your hook into the new stitch over, yarn over, pull through. So now you have 2 loops. Now place your crochet hook into the next stitch over again, yarn over, pull through. So now you have 3 loops. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through 2 of the loops, tighten slightly, yarn over and pull through the last 2. Okay, one more time. Go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. So now we have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, tighten slightly, yarn over and pull through 2. So now it should look like it's closing in. Like, see how it's curving now? Because now we're decreasing. So put your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn, insert into the next stitch over, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through that last 2. There you go. Okay, so do that all the way around, and then I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay. Okay, so if you just finished step 12, which is 1 double crochet in the first stitch, and then decrease all the way around, this is how your project should be looking. I decided to add a little bit more stuffing to my stress ball. He was looking a little empty there. So I have one more decrease stitch. There we go. So now moving on to step 13, which is slip stitch and chain 1. So hopefully you have that down by now. A slip stitch, chain 1. There you go. So now we're going to do step 14, which is repeat steps 12 and 13 until the stress ball is closed. So that means just do the 1 double crochet in the first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the first stitch, and then just decrease all the way around until the stress ball is closed, until the hole is gone. So just do that however many times you need to until this little hole is gone, and then meet me back here and we'll be going on to our last step, which is weaving in the tail. All right. Okay, so if you just finished step 14, which is repeat steps 12 and 13 until the stress ball is closed, it should look something like this. Make sure to give yourself some extra slack here with the last loop. And now you're going to use some scissors to cut the end of the tail. You don't need it to be very long, just a little bit, because you're going to just be weaving that tail in. So just cut there. And with your crochet hook or your fingers, you can just pull so that this is fastened off. It's nice to just have a long string hanging at the end of your project. So this is how your stress ball should be looking. Hope you were successful. Please send me pictures of your project. You can tag me on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook. I'm on all the platforms. So now this is the time where you grab your needle. Just feed that yarn through there. Tie a very loose little knot. And now wherever you feel comfortable, just weave the end of the tail through your project. And just pull it out wherever you would like. There you go. See? And just grab some scissors and just cut the end of the tail. I like to use the tip of the scissors to stab that little piece back in through there. And there you go. You are done. That means that you made your very first stress ball. I hope you love it. This project is my very first pattern, so I'm very proud of it, very happy, and I hope you are too. Alright, well, thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I hope you had a good time, and thank you so much